It's annoying that I have to say this to some people, but Kamala Harris would have been a better president. We would be in a better place if she were president now instead of him.
Fuck, dude, if I had one wish, it would just go back to life before DJT walked down that fucking elevator. That dude has literally destroyed the fabric of the fucking country. I didn't know Chuck Norris was a fucking diehard Trump supporter. Can't even fucking make any jokes anymore, bro. Found out. Oh, okay, I didn't know. Rest in peace, bitch. A lot of people be like, oh, bro, you make everything political. This isn't about politics, bro. This is about protecting myself from you fucking weirdos. Because if you dismiss what's going on in the country right now as just, whatever, bro, run of the mill, it's what happened. That just tells me that you're a type of motherfucker that can be influenced to fall into evil. Yeah, bro, which means I think you have the possibility to become an evil, weird motherfucker, which means I got to protect myself from you. Every fucking thing, dude, in this country is fucked up because of that dude. And he's the most disgusting, despicable human being on the motherfucking planet. So you can say whatever you want to say about the state of the world. Oh, Biden did this, Obama did that, Bush did this. They weren't eating babies and raping kids, bro. So you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, but that undisputed fact is what it is. And you can dismiss it, which means you are subject to falling into evil, to be a disgusting, despicable human motherfucking being. So I got to protect myself from all you motherfuckers, man. 10 toes down in this shit, man. And I don't give a fuck, bro. There's going to be nobody in my life around me that plays this shit off and is a friend of mine, man. I can't trust you motherfuckers, bro. I can't. Whole world fucked up since that dude walked down an elevator, bro.
If you initially voted for Trump and now regret your choice, I need to see you at the forefront of all of the efforts against him. I need to see you showing up to protests, speaking about it, because you know what you did? You worked against all of the efforts that we put in to try and show everybody what the danger was. You tried to reverse all of that when you placed that vote, okay? So now you need to put in that work to try and help us. I'm not sitting here trying to make you feel bad, trying to put you down and shame you, okay? That's for another day. You can do that on your own time. My point here is, yes, you made a mistake. You did a bad thing. And now if you recognize that, it's time to take the step forward and help us fix it.
This is sarcastic, hilarious, it's paradox, it is wicked fun. I guess I need to call the Pope in here. We need to pray.
2016 is remembered so fondly because it was the last year before Trump. I said what I said, and what I said isn't wrong. People are going to come at me saying that I have TDS or that I'm politicizing everything unnecessarily, but I'm 100% right. When you look at 2016, that was really the last year that a lot of Americans had hope that things would improve in the future. We just came off of 8 years of an Obama presidency, which improved things materially for a lot of Americans following the 2008 financial crisis. And we kind of had this hope that things would continue to improve. And man, Trump sucked the air out of the room after he got elected, right? I mean, one, Trump campaigned on removing a lot of the improvements that Obama made. But two, he just increased the division in this country so immensely. I mean, there was a huge spike in hate crimes after Trump got elected, like a measurable one. And division is something that Trump campaigned on. I mean, when he announced that he was running for presidency, his speech was talking about how Mexico's not sending their best, right? From day zero, Trump has been sowing division. And that's only increased since 2016. I mean, how many people have you seen online talk about how they can't even talk to so-and-so relative anymore because they've gone full MAGA, or they become brainwashed by this MAGA cult and don't believe that vaccines work anymore, right? And another thing that's kind of connected to all of this is social media and how its usage and how people view it has changed following 2016. Before 2016, social media was still a way to bring people together, right? People talk about how millennials are so free because we didn't really have that toxic social media landscape where everyone is like afraid to be cringe. We didn't have that, right? These social media applications were still used as a way to bring people together. And Trump really turned that on its head. People think I'm being dramatic, but do you remember Cambridge Analytica in that time? Trump exploited social media to, again, further divide people. And that's how people see social media, as kind of like this toxic place where people are watching each other's moves. It's no longer that place that brings people together. It's just a way to spread hate. So I think that changed with Trump being elected. Again, people are going to say I'm dramatic, I got TDS, blah, 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 blah. But I think that's why there was this historic vibe shift, really, in 2016 or after 2016. And it all leads to Trump.
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? Oh, you can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen and it is happening. But I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
When you look at when everything works out normally, I'm not necessarily going to apply it to this situation because we're dealing with a different kind of people. And why is no one looking at Iran being a nation of terror that has been the
there was no imminent threat.
Samuel wants to come in on different kind of people.
Firstly, there was no imminent threat. That is a fact. Number two, this idea that the Arab nations, GCC nations, are in favor of this action is pure fake news. They are hemorrhaging both people who have gone to live there, who have left, people who have invested in there, who have to left, that leave, they're not able to transfer their natural resources across the world. Everybody is suffering because Trump is incompetent. It's indefensible, this action, and it needs to stop as soon as possible. Even Trump, I would say, is trying to find a way out. He knows that he's done something that's completely stupid. He knows he has midterm elections coming up, and he knows that if you pass 60 days, you're going to have to get congressional approval to continue these actions. So he knows that he's done something completely stupid, but it's too late for him.
And also, chaos is not governance. Chaos is not good policy. Chaos is thuggery. The other thing is you can't talk about Iranians as being this other sort of people. They're not. They're human beings like us. They don't necessarily like their regime at all. A lot of them don't. And one thing you've got to remember is while they are used to living in a war zone, a lot of the people in the Middle East and that area of the world, we are not used to living in a war economy. And that's what's going to happen.
Well, it's happening. The hardcore MAGAs are starting to turn on MAGA. They're talking about war crimes, and I believe that Trump is increasingly going to be left with nothing. Here is a Trump supporter, a veteran, who gets asked a pretty simple question about Trump's genocidal threats against Iran and starts talking about war crimes. These are MAGA people.
Seems like the president seems to be indicating that we'll be hitting civilian infrastructure. What do you make of that? Do you think that's becoming of a commander-in-chief?
No, I don't. No, I don't. And I'm a supporter. That's over and above. It shouldn't be by anybody, to tell you the truth, much less the president.
I'm totally against it. It's a war crime.
This is a change. Now, I'm not pretending that this is all of Trump's base. I'm not pretending that all of Trump's support is evaporating overnight. But there is a growing contingent who, partially because they fell for Trump's completely bogus anti-war rhetoric, is now saying, no. this can't be. Here is a Georgia voter talking about war crimes, saying, you can't do it. We don't do that.
It's giving war crime. You can't do that. We don't just annihilate people because we can and, make a grab for the money and the oil. And that's what we've done in Venezuela. And that's what we're doing in Iran.
I think this is significant. And it's significant because it's not the usual suspects. It's not, when we think about narrative and stories that really you can sink your teeth into and really say something is happening here. If it were another left-winger or a Democrat or someone who already opposes Trump, of course they don't like what Trump is doing in Iran. These are people who supported him, and maybe still to a degree do. And they're kind of drawing a line here. And what you're starting to see are the early stages of something that has happened before historically when leaders go too far. At first, the base stays unified. It's been a decade. And while there have been people who abandoned ship, the base has mostly been unified. The rhetoric then escalates. The actions, the proposed actions in this case, which Trump chickened out about, they cross a line that even the loyal supporters can no longer justify. And then the cracks start to form. And usually, sort of like cracks in an iceberg, when they start, they only get bigger.
I'm really sorry. I was wrong. I regret my vote. Donald Trump told me if I voted for Kamala Harris, we'd be at war within a year. I voted for her, and here we are.
By the time this is said and over, you will not be able to find one person that says that they supported this. I can't remember who said it or where I read it, but I saw somebody say once, by the time this is over, there will be no open supporters of it. Everybody will be running for the hills, which is exactly what is happening. We told you from the start what was going to happen, and now everybody's seeing it, and you're seeing more and more and more of these people. Well, yeah, it got to be too much. No, what happened is it started to affect you, and you didn't like that. Because you never thought it was going to affect you, but then it did, so now you're against it. And trust me, we'll remember each and every one of you. You can't hide.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.